Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to the channel where we delve into the most intricate and fascinating stories emanating from the palaces and the great religious centers of the world. Today, we confront a moment of profound diplomatic tension, a royal tightrope walk that could potentially cost King Charles III one of the most historically significant honors imaginable. We are, of course, discussing the king's recent engagements with the Holy See, and the whispers suggesting that a groundbreaking decision made in London may have inadvertently jeopardized his chances of receiving a highly prestigious papal knighthood from the newly ascended Pope Leo XIV. Before we unravel this complex tapestry of faith, tradition, and modern royal politics, please take a moment to show your support. Do remember to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the lives of the world's most compelling figures. Your support truly helps us continue bringing you these detailed reports. The historical brinkmanship. The saga centers on King Charles III's upcoming two-day visit to the Vatican, a trip anticipated not merely as a diplomatic formality, but as an opportunity for true religious reconciliation and recognition. For centuries, the relationship between the British monarchy and the Catholic Church has been defined by the schism initiated by King Henry VIII nearly 500 years ago. Thus, any high honor bestowed by the Pope upon a reigning British monarch is viewed through the lens of that massive historical break. It was widely understood, according to reports from seasoned royal observers, that King Charles was being seriously considered for a papal knighthood by the late Pope Francis. This would have been an honor unprecedented in modern history, a stunning reversal of nearly 5 centuries of separation. The very notion of a British sovereign accepting such a distinction was seen as a monumental step toward healing old wounds and fostering unity between the Anglican and Catholic communions. However, the landscape shifted dramatically earlier this year, not only with the passing of Pope Francis and the subsequent election of Pope Leo XIV, but also due to a critical decision made within the Church of England, a decision that the king, as supreme governor of that church, supported. The catalyst, a groundbreaking appointment. The potential stumbling block, according to the venerable royal columnist Ephraim Hardcastle, writing in the authoritative pages of the Daily Mail, is King Charles's unequivocal support for the appointment of Dame Sarah Mullally as the Archbishop of Canterbury. This appointment is in itself a moment of extraordinary historical significance. Earlier this month, Dame Sarah Mullally made history as the very first woman ever selected for the incredibly senior and demanding role of the Archbishop of Canterbury. It is an appointment that symbolizes modernity, inclusion, and the evolving face of the Anglican faith. While this selection was celebrated throughout the United Kingdom and many parts of the Anglican Communion worldwide, it presents a complex doctrinal challenge when viewed from the perspective of the Holy See. The Catholic Church maintains a deeply entrenched traditional stance against the ordination of women to the priesthood and the episcopacy. The monarch's endorsement of such a groundbreaking move within the Church of England, while essential to his constitutional role, is interpreted by some within the conservative echelons of the Vatican as a potential obstacle to receiving the highest marks of papal favor. Ephraim Hardcastle specifically noted that this groundbreaking appointment could significantly reduce the likelihood of King Charles being granted that much coveted papal knighthood by Pope Leo XIV. The knighthood, which had been under consideration by the preceding pontiff, Pope Francis, now seems less certain under the new administration of Pope Leo. Diplomacy, particularly between ancient institutions, is often a matter of subtle signals and adherence to long-held traditions. And the king's public support for Dame Sarah Mullally is seen by some traditionalists as a deviation that complicates the diplomatic picture. The king's commitment to interfaith dialogue. It is crucial to remember the context of the king's relationship with the Vatican prior to this potential diplomatic hiccup. King Charles and Queen Camilla had previously met with the late Pope Francis shortly before his passing, establishing a warm foundation for future relations. The continuity of this relationship is immensely important for the king, who has for decades championed the cause of interfaith understanding. The king's upcoming visit, however, is not without its own confirmed honors. which reflect his decades-long dedication to bridge building. Even if the papal knighthood remains elusive for now, King Charles is poised to receive another highly respected distinction during his time in Rome. It is expected that during the 2-day visit, King Charles will be named a royal comforter. This is a title of great respect, emphasizing fellowship and spiritual brotherhood between the monarch and the papacy. A spokesperson for the Church of England has graciously weighed in on the significance of this confirmed honor, explaining precisely why the king was being awarded the title of royal comforter. Speaking to the Daily Express, the spokesperson elucidated the profound meaning behind the title. The royal comforter title is a tribute to His Majesty and to his own work over many decades to find common grounds between faiths and to bring people together. This statement confirms that the recognition is not merely based on his status as a sovereign, but is a direct acknowledgement of his personal, sustained efforts in promoting religious harmony, a theme that has been central to his public life since long before his ascension to the throne. The sacred moments of the Vatican visit. The details of the visit itself underscore its spiritual and historical weight. The king arrives in the Vatican today, according to Ephraim Hardcastle's reporting, not empty-handed, but to receive a tangible symbol of this new fellowship. Ephraim reported, "The king arrives in the Vatican today to receive the gift of a special chair when the Pope makes him a royal comforter." Furthermore, the schedule includes a deeply symbolic act of unity. The king is expected to join Pope Leo XIV in prayer within the breathtaking confines of the Sistine Chapel. To share such a sacred space in a moment of spiritual communion is a powerful visual demonstration of the ongoing dialogue between the two great Christian traditions. A royal source emphasized just how profound this experience will be, stating that the visit would be deeply significant for the king personally. It is understood that this trip forms a vital part of his overarching desire to bring communities together, a mission that defines his reign and connects directly to his long-standing work with diverse religious groups across the Commonwealth. The nuance of diplomatic friction. Let us return for a moment to the delicate issue of the papal knighthood and Dame Sarah Mullally. To the general public, the support of a female archbishop is a progressive step. To the Vatican, however, the concept of a woman in the role of Archbishop of Canterbury touches upon core theological and canonical issues. When King Charles endorsed this appointment, he was upholding his constitutional duty and reflecting the current direction of the Church of England. Yet, in the complex world of inter-church diplomacy, the endorsement of a step that directly contradicts the fundamental doctrine of the Catholic Church, specifically regarding holy orders, can create a subtle but measurable friction. Pope Leo XIV, having recently taken the mantle of the Holy See, is tasked with maintaining the theological integrity of the Catholic Church while navigating modern political realities. While the late Pope Francis was known for his progressive gestures and ecumenical warmth, the new pontiff must also consider the reaction of more traditional elements within the Curia when deciding whether to bestow an honor that would be seen as historical recognition of a schismatic monarch. The papal knighthood, if granted, would have been interpreted by many traditionalists as a step too far, potentially implying a tacit approval of the direction of the Anglican Communion. By withholding the knighthood, the papacy, under Pope Leo XIV, manages to honor the king's personal efforts via the royal comforter title, while maintaining a necessary distance on fundamental doctrinal disagreements, the ordination of women. The appointment of Dame Sarah Mullally, therefore, serves as a litmus test. It highlights the vast differences that still exist between the two faiths, even as they move closer on social and ethical issues. King Charles, in supporting the appointment, chose to prioritize the internal governance and modernization of his own church, fully aware that such a decision carries international implications. The weight of history and the path ahead. The royal comforter title, while perhaps less headline-grabbing than a papal knighthood, is arguably more personal and directly meaningful to King Charles's legacy. It honors the core of his work, the tireless pursuit of harmony, tolerance, and mutual respect among different religious groups. This title ensures that the diplomatic visit is successful and warm. The exchange of gifts, the prayer in the Sistine Chapel, and the public acknowledgement of his dedication to interfaith dialogue solidify the relationship between the crown and the Holy See irrespective of the missing knighthood. We must remember the historical precedent. The last time a British monarch was even considered for such a high papal distinction was truly a world away before the seismic shifts of the Reformation. The fact that King Charles was even considered for a knighthood under Pope Francis speaks volumes about the progress made in the 5 centuries since King Henry VIII broke from Rome. The careful observations of columnists like Ephraim Hardcastle remind us that every move a monarch makes is scrutinized for its diplomatic weight. The choice to endorse the first female Archbishop of Canterbury is not merely a domestic religious affair. It is a global statement that inevitably impacts the highly sensitive negotiations with the Vatican. The King's visit this week is therefore a masterclass in modern diplomacy, acknowledging historical differences while celebrating shared values. He receives the personal honor of royal comforter, recognizing his decades of dedicated service to unity, even as the complex political reality of the female archbishop appointment defines the limits of immediate reconciliation regarding canonical honors. It is a subtle dance requiring immense skill and foresight on both sides. The King walks away with a deeply meaningful personal recognition and strengthens the ties between London and Rome, keeping the door open for potentially greater honors in the future, once the dust settles on this new chapter in the Church of England's history. Conclusion and reflection. We have explored today the delicate balance of tradition and modernity facing King Charles III. The groundbreaking appointment of Dame Sarah Mullally as the first woman Archbishop of Canterbury, a decision supported by the King, appears to have created a momentary diplomatic chill, potentially costing him a historic papal knighthood under the new leadership of Pope Leo XIV. Yet this visit is far from a disappointment. The conferral of the Royal Confrater title is a profound recognition of King Charles's personal work, spanning many decades to bridge divides and foster genuine interfaith understanding. His time with Pope Leo XIV, culminating in prayer at the magnificent Sistine Chapel, ensures that this visit will be remembered as deeply significant, marking an important step in the ongoing reconciliation between the Anglican and Catholic faiths. The question remains: should modern monarchs temper their progressive domestic decisions to secure historic international honors? Or should they always prioritize the direction and modernization of their own institutions, even if it carries a diplomatic cost? We would genuinely love to hear your thoughts on this complex issue. What is your perspective on the interplay between religious tradition and the modern royal support for gender equality? Do you believe King Charles made the right move in supporting Dame Sarah Mullally, regardless of the potential loss of the knighthood? Share your opinions in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching this detailed report. If you appreciated this deep dive into royal and religious diplomacy, please ensure you have liked this video and subscribed to the channel. Don't forget to join us next time as we continue to bring you the most detailed and comprehensive updates from the world stage. Until then, take care and thank you for being part of our community.